One thing I am curious about, and I'm sure the folks at home are curious about, from start to finish, you've identified an opportunity with an end user. They seem like they're eligible for a certain stimulus or grant program. From start to finish, when you start the process, the grant is written, and then the technology is deployed. Chris or Erica, can you put your thumb on it's approximately this amount of time, or is that a difficult question for you to answer?
Yeah, Erica, I'll start here first. You could chime in certainly if you have anything to add, but I think it depends on a number of pieces. So there's really two tracks I like to talk about: traditional annual grant programming. The federal government puts out 1.4 trillion in discretionary spending through their annual regular budget every year. A decent 500-600 billion of that goes out for public sector projects, and we connect folks to those grants to make that happen. These type of grants typically have very formalized procedures, and so you may engage with a team, and the perfect opportunity could be a couple months away even from being announced. But once it's announced, you typically have 4 to 8 weeks to apply. Then you have could be 3-4 months before a decision's made, and you actually start to draw down funds. That process takes a bit longer. It's a slower burn, and certainly great for folks who don't have the funding. But with these stimulus funds, the whole idea is to get those funds out there as quick as possible. So what they tend to do is leverage existing funding vehicles. So we pushed out this funding for vaccines or for other types of activities to states last year. We're just going to issue supplemental awards through this program and make that happen so the funding goes out quickly. And then a lot of the funding has to be made available, within 3 weeks to within a couple months of that stimulus bill being passed. So oftentimes, sometimes the funds are actually already available in bank accounts sitting on the customer site, and they just have to figure out internally how they're going to spend those dollars, and so that there doesn't have to be a long lag. There may not even be a complicated set of forms or applications for them to fill out. They just have to keep in mind at the back end when they're reporting what the justification looks like. So for stimulus funding, you can literally identify a customer today, and they happen to have the money available on site. They haven't spent it. And you can move to them funding their project within, days to weeks, on the scale what we see with the stimulus funding. So it does vary quite a bit, but now's the time to really be hitting the pavement because you can get much quicker turnaround times than you will with just traditional grants.
I think last year we saw from, if I looked at a replay 2020 and I look at our CommScope Ruckus partners and what they were able to accomplish, there's a lot of schools that were leveraging an E-rate program, and then they found out, well, mom and dad can't afford internet at home, so what do we do? And what they did is leverage a lot of CommScope Ruckus technology, and they would deploy a parking lot hotspot. So those children now, their parents can't afford technology at home or connectivity, wireless internet service. So they would be able to drive to the school and the parking lot, and those children would be able to do their work. And a lot of that was driven by some CARES Act funding and things like that. So it was really cool to see how quickly and efficiently our CommScope Ruckus partners could react to that and get those stimulus funds as well. So it's really cool to see that trend is going to continue with these other programs. Awesome. Very cool. Erica, anything to add in that capacity as far as timing and other things? Chris was pretty thorough
Yeah.
there. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, the front end, as they identify whether they're going to pursue the emergency COVID relief funds or the grant funds, usually will be about a 2-week process to getting that form, the funding report out, and a follow-up consultative call to then decide which funding source they plan to pursue.